I brought this up because I think it is a very, 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 very good case study of what happens when fame hits you just like boom out of nowhere. So we're going to talk about, make sure you stay to the end because we're going to talk about 5 things that happened to her that you might or might not have expected when something goes viral for you. And we're going to talk about the 3 things that you can learn from her experience. What's up, everybody? I'm Zap, and this is Jericho, and we are the now 8-time international award-winning pop hip-hop music duo band in future. We do clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that is uniquely Californian. And right now, you are tuned in to the Lives of Circus podcast, where we talk about everything that's funny, interesting, and ridiculous. But before we jump into today's episode, help your boys out. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. Dang it.
Oh, okay.
Share this video with someone who wants to Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. You feel me?
Oh, come on.
So
all right.
Wait. Don't go away. Don't leave. It gets better. Wait.
I'll be honest. I was surprised.
So I'm not going to go past that. So if you've been under a rock, then past few months, you haven't seen this, what they call the Hawk Tuah Girl. And she had a very small, simple video that went very big and very viral. We're just going to play it real quick so you can see what we're talking about. And then we're not going to talk about it anymore.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Hawk Tuah and spit on it. Spit on it.
7 seconds to fame. Literally 7 seconds. And instant fame.
So that was the video. If you don't know what it means or something, like, we're not going to go into that part. But I brought this up because I think it is a very, 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 very good case study of what happens when fame hits you just like boom out of nowhere. So we're going to talk about, make sure you stay to the end because we're going to talk about 5 things that happened to her that you might or might not have expected when something goes viral for you. And we're going to talk about the 3 things that you can learn from her experience. So make sure you stick around to get through all of that. So let's just backtrack a little bit. Who is this girl? Just a random girl who lives in this city. I can't remember the name, but it's on the outskirts of Nashville. So somewhere near Nashville. And she was interviewed by these guys. They have a YouTube channel. It's called Tim and D TV. And it seems like they just go around mostly like night spots, clubs, and maybe events and stuff. And they have a microphone and they just like interview people. And I didn't watch really much of the videos, just kind of looked at the pictures and thumbnails, and it seemed like they interview a certain type of people, which may or may not be white girls. And they're both black. And those white girls may or may not be fully sober. So that's their thing about their, I guess, but it has worked for them. They have over 40,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. And that Hawk Tuah Girl video was like a skyrocket for them. So for people who are not into YouTube, just a little behind the scenes, basically when you put out a video, just a way to kind of gauge your success, you want the video to have, if it has as many views as you have subscribers, then that's a sign that the video did well. If it has less than that, not so well. If it has more than that, it did really good. So they have 40,000 subscribers. Hawk Tuah Girl video has 6 million views and counting. And so it just, again, a very like a few seconds.
That's all it takes now.
And it's one of those videos where you like, why why is this so huge? Like, what were your thoughts when you saw it, and two, when like you saw how much commotion people were making about it?
My experience was, at first I saw the memes and I didn't know what they were referencing, because I think at some point some people were trying to take the video off, I guess, because once they see something that's going viral, I can only imagine they're trying to monetize it as soon as possible. So don't make it readily available. So it's hard for me to find the video. And then once I found it, I was like, okay, so I know like 20 people like this girl. I think you could have literally substituted any one of those girls into this video and it would have worked the same. I mean, like white, blonde, attractive, young, willing to say anything, alcohol, no alcohol. That's would have been their answer, right? Just real people, you know, from the South.
Yeah.
A nice. Is that Southern hospitality right there? I guess so. And I said, I wonder what's going to happen to this girl, because you see it all the time. It made me think of, there's a girl in Argentina named Julie who did kind of the same thing. This guy interviewed her, and I don't believe she was that big at the time, but she was trying. And she basically had these like characters that she does. So she did a really weird interview kind of on purpose. She reminds me like Doja Cat, honestly. It's really weird, but really memorable. And everyone kind of remembers her from like one thing she said. What'd she say? Que se repite. Because she was talking about like kissing a guy and not remembering his name. And she was like, let's do it again, basically. And just that line got her huge. So that's nothing new. But then it's always like, okay, so what happens next? So I don't remember her actual name, but I do know that she did all the right things, quit her job, moved to LA, got a manager, got a team, started selling t-shirts, started selling merch as soon as possible. With the awareness, she seems to have a bit of awareness that this might not last. It might turn into a whole thing. Remember Catch Me Outside? How about that? Remember her? She, Danielle Bergoli or something like that. She became a big star, music, everything, just from that little moment she had on the Dr. Phil show. So I think people now are seeing, it's like everyone's just kind of like at the starting gates, kind of like we could all of us go viral at any time. And as soon as you do, it's kind of like, okay, you got to take off as fast as possible because you don't know when it's going to be over. So she seems to at least have that awareness that this might not last. So let me do. So she said she was giving away food to like a dog or animal shelter in some video that I saw. And she's basically just like, yeah, if this is my 15 minutes, y'all saying my 50 with her accent, you know, that I'm going to do something good. And that's admirable. Is it going to last? Who knows? But yeah, that's when I first saw.
Okay, so you touched on a few different things that are kind of in my list here, but there's just 5 things that I noticed. And like you said, her response to all of this has just been like on the money. And it's just been, I think she's just done everything right. Because there's definitely a laundry list of ways you can mess this up. You can just go totally south with it. But it's just like, it's just amazing to see just her coming out of nowhere, no aspirations to do anything in entertainment or visibility, and then just to come out and then just do everything right. So there's 5 things that I saw. And these are things that would happen to you if you all of a sudden became famous overnight. So what do you think are maybe one thing that happened that she had to deal with as a result of this? Some of it you already touched on a little bit.
Well, the attention, as far as I would imagine, she's already like can't go outside without getting people bombarding her and stuff. So
so that's number 3 on my list is crazy fans.
Okay.
All right. So this is what she said. She's been doing like various interviews and stuff. She said, of course, her DMs are like just full of guys, like hundreds, if not even thousands of
Trying to get some hot. Yeah.
She said that when she goes places, there's people yelling at her, at wanting her picture, wanting her autograph. She said that there are people trying to find her, people driving past her house, taking pictures, reporters coming up to her house. People were making songs about her. So that's kind of, especially for someone who wasn't wanting that, you know, that can be kind of nerve-wracking. So her response, I thought was very good. And to your point, she said the worst part of being famous was just her going somewhere and everyone just looking at her, and it's just very uncomfortable. And I can totally understand like that, why that's weird. It's like you can't go anywhere. Right. You know, she walked into her room, everyone's just looking at her. She said she can't go to Nashville anymore, just like if she just want to go and do something. She said she's cool in her hometown or something because it's not because she's from a really small hometown. But if she goes somewhere, you know, big, people just, you know, kind of bother her a lot of times. And she says she doesn't talk to reporters. They come to the house. She doesn't really, you know, she just stays in her own lane, I guess. Anything that situations where she can control, I guess, that her management is set up for her and all that kind of stuff. And she even says that she's used bodyguards at big events. So like you go from just your regular life. By the way, she says she worked at a spring factory, which is a sentence I've never heard anybody say.
A place that makes springs?
A place that makes springs and ships various types of springs.
I mean, I would assume you need that. I have one right here, but interesting.
Yeah, maybe that came from her. So
go get her to sign it.
Yeah, when someone asked her like a spring factory, she's like, yeah, like Boeing. Like, and that's another thing about her is just like it's such a weird story, and it's just like out of the blue, and she's just like such a normal person as you recover from the word Boeing.
It feels so on par with her whole brand.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's just her just normal personality, but just everybody's just rooting for her, and she has something that you can't really quantify, or she's this or she's that. She just has a thing that's just her, and it's just which is really cool, and people want to see that and gravitate to that. But yeah, that's one thing. It's crazy people, crazy fans. And I think she's handled it really well. Anything else that you could think of? It's like you get famous all of a sudden and then boom, this happens.
I'm sure financial part of it has to be managed, meaning you should probably get someone that knows how to deal with that. Because I do remember the post about the food with the animals, she was saying, I couldn't afford this last month. Literally last month, she couldn't afford to do what she was doing. So it's like, she obviously has more money than she's ever had in her life. So getting someone that knows how to handle that so that, let's say the fame part goes away, she doesn't lose the money that she gained because of the fame.
Right. Yeah. So that was number 2 on my list. I labeled that as collaborators. So basically she said that very soon after going viral, she started getting just bombarded with messages from people who just basically wanted to do business with her in some kind of capacity. So this is what she did. She said her friend's mom was a paralegal, and she talked to her and asked her about some kind of representation, and she got an attorney. And that was the first thing she did. And she got an attorney, and then the attorney found a team for her, management and all that kind of stuff, which is, I mean, just so smart. And so, and like, again, it's just so crazy to see because she came out of nowhere. She didn't even have social media. So they set up all this stuff for her. Now she's on pretty much every platform. The first thing she did to capitalize on the situation was like the hats and the t-shirts and stuff. She's autographing that stuff. She has stuff that's in stores across the country. It's just like, this is just like in in a few weeks. This is so insane. And then she's been doing a lot of appearances and talk shows, podcasts, which was a very good idea because of another reason that I have listed. But she's been doing that and reportedly getting like upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 just to show up at a place, just to show up at a bar, at a pool party. Like, it's insane. But again, she just handled it like a pro, and she is just like moving with this thing over like a 7-second video.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's this. That was number 2 on my list. Okay. Any more things that you can think of?
I believe she moved, but is that correct? Did she actually go to LA?
From the last video, the last interview I saw, she was talking to people about moving, but she is, at least at that time, decided to stay in her hometown.
Okay. If you
get negative, the last 3 are negative.
Oh, I see.
Well, a couple of them are negative.
Well, I'm pretty sure she already has like copycats or imitators, like people that either falsify things she said or meeting. It's something already as far as like, oh, she's in the public eye, so she's fair play for everybody. So, oh, she said this. I'm her cousin. I'm her this. I'm her that. I can just only imagine all these people coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Yep, I'm associated with her." You know what? I told her to go to that place where she got picked up because I always knew she had that 10% cousin. Something like that.
Yes. So that was number 1 on my list. So rumors and people trying to capitalize on the situation. That was the very first thing that happened because again, she's not on social media. She actually said that she wanted the video taken down. It was embarrassing for her. Like, she didn't even want anything to do with this at the beginning. And because she was so silent and they couldn't find her, all this stuff started happening. So people started coming up with rumors. They said that she was a bartender, and they said that she was a teacher. And there was there was actually a teacher who got fired for I don't know what, but they had like a benefit for her to like raise money because they thought she was the Hawk Tuah Girl, and she totally wasn't. And then she was just like, by the way, this girl's name is Haley Welch. Just she is trying to get away from the whole Hawk Tuah thing. But that's her name. So Haley was like, well, if people are trying to capitalize on it, I might as well just do it myself. And she just got all this stuff together. But it was just crazy. Like the internet just went wild, like, which is going back to like her capitalizing and doing the interviews and stuff. It was so smart to start doing interviews and stuff, because then she could like get her version out. You're like, what happened? Who is she? All this, because people want to know all this stuff and they're just kind of making it up. So if you don't like put the truth out there, then it's just going to be crazy and uncontrollable. So that seemed like their first move right now, which I mean, just again, so smart. So she's doing all these podcast rounds, interviews, introducing herself, that kind of stuff, and just inviting people into like what we call like your world, or like what you do, who you are, your family, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's number 1. I'll give you, you want to comment on that?
There's something I was thinking about that could be another negative. I know she's a young lady, she's attractive, so I'm sure people are trying to get her to do an OnlyFans or something like that. But I saw a video of her, actually the same video, but it was a little different, and it caught my attention because I couldn't tell what was weird about it at first until I realized it was the video where she got famous, but someone had superimposed Arnold Schwarzenegger's face over hers and changed the voice. That was the entire interview in Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice with the face on her face. And I'm actually thought, oh, what happens if that goes the other way? They start to take her image and put it on stuff that she didn't do because they can. And then when I was like, okay, so she's probably getting OnlyFans requests. So I would only imagine if someone's making the Hawk Tuah OnlyFans girl page, even though it's not her, they can make it look like it's her because they have enough of her voice sample to kind of manipulate it.
Yeah. I put that in my number 4 is just people wanting to know what's next. And so, yeah, a lot of people have said just because of the video, and again, she's trying to separate herself from that. Who knows how much that she can. But a lot of people's thoughts were like, start doing OnlyFans but I mean, to their credit, like she'd make millions. Probably
She would.
Yeah. If that was her thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have been like, so, I guess proud of her, I guess, because she's pretty adamant that she's not going that route and that she's not that type of person. And so like a lot of people are rooting for her. That's really cool. But yeah, she said like OnlyFans, even Cameo, she's kind of stayed away from that kind of stuff. She even made it to TMZ, and there was a person on TMZ who suggested that she become the new Dr. Ruth and be like a sex therapist kind of personality or whatever.
Okay, don't do that. that could. What if she did? I'm just trying to make her own career now. So back in the day, comedians would basically have their catchphrase, and that was their career, literally for like 50 years. Rodney Dangerfield, like get no respect, or get no respect, or
Fred Sanford, you big dummy.
Yeah. Or George, I forget his name. He was like, I be thinking. People have their thing. So honestly, I know she wants to get away from the Hawk Tuah thing, but maybe she could just milk it for everything it's worth, and like this kind of, it has to be cleverly like modified, permutated perhaps, but she could just take that idea and just keep making it Hawk Tuah, and make it cute. Hawk Tuah Camel Company, because camel spit, right? I don't know, just something like that. She has options. She definitely does.
Yeah, she does. I think she's kind of done that at the beginning. But I mean, she just made it very clear that she's eventually trying to get away from that. She even, because again, you think about like actors too, like Jaleel White, trying not to be Urkel anymore. Yeah, Alfonso Ribeiro trying not to be Carlton. Hey, do the Carlton dance. Do the Carlton dance. And it's just like they want to do other things, and there's more to them than that. She said that she wants to do like either reality TV or her own podcast or something like that. So that I mean, like you said, that is the like one thing about this where it's just like, ooh, I don't know, will people stick with you if you just go in a totally different direction, or were they only there for like Hawk Tuah Girl or something? That's like the big thing for me. But like we're getting to the end of the time, so the last thing I noticed was just critics. That's kind of the fifth thing. It's kind of negative. People saying that she's famous for nothing, and why should she be famous? Because again, she's an interesting case because she's not a particularly talented person. I know that sounds like wrong, but in the sense that like she's not a singer, she's not an actor, she's not an athlete. She's just a regular person. And so it's just like, what do you do with that? But this is the thing, the three things that I talked about at the beginning, like what can we learn from this? And it's all about fame. And so I think the big misconception and the conception I had for a long time was that fame is about talent. And it's not necessarily about talent. Talent helps, but fame just simply defined is the condition of being well known. So anything that you do that attracts people to you can make you famous. And that could be your personality, that could be a thing that you said, that could be the way that you look, and that can be packaged together to make you famous. And so I think people who think, oh, she doesn't have talent, I mean, they would say the same thing about the Kardashians or like Paris Hilton back in the day. And just like, they have a thing. They're just really good looking people. And that's a thing that attracts people. So they're famous. Like you don't have to add, if they're talented, that's a bonus, but you don't have to add talent to that. So the three things, just wrap it up. One is just understanding fame is something that you can't control. So like if for anybody else who's like an actor, a singer, a dancer, a rapper, comedian, it's like a lottery. And you have to separate talent from fame. You have to separate your personal worth from fame. Because those are like totally different things. And the second thing is that, okay, well, if fame is, you can't control fame, you should really not chase it, because it's not really something you can catch. It's just something that happens by you being, you know, number 3 in position, or being an opportunity. This girl Haley said she's just a real personable, you know, individual. She just walked up to those guys and just interviewed, but that thing happened because she kind of positioned herself for this opportunity to happen. You know, if she was quiet and shy and she didn't like people and all this kind of stuff, like, it would never happen. So those are 3 things to think about for anybody who's an artist or entertainer, or like you want to be the next viral, whatever. Those are things that I've had to learn just going through the entertainment industry. But let us know what you think in the comments about Haley Welch, aka Hawk Tuah Girl, formerly known as. What do you think about the video? Did you see the video? Are you rooting for her? Would this be something that you want? Is it something that you don't want? Just want to keep living your life? Let us know. This has been another episode of the Life's a Circus podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share, because we out of here.
They took our job.